We continue now at the top of Daf Chav Beis Amud Aleph in Maseches Pesachim. This is Pesachim Daf 22a. The Gemara here is looking for the source for Rabbi Avohu's din. Rabbi Avoh says anytime the Torah says you're not allowed to eat something, it also means you can't derive benefits. So within Rabbi Yehuda, we cannot use the pasuk by nevela. So the Gemara says, according to Rabbi Yehuda, within Rabbi Avoh, the source is a pasuk by treifa. The pasuk says by treifa lakelev tashlichun oso, that you give it to the dogs. You give an animal that's a treifa that has a mortal wound. It's not kosher, so it can be fed to the dogs. So the Gemara darshans oso atamashlich lakelev, that you're allowed to give to a dog. But all other things that are usher to eat in the Torah, you can't give it to a dog because it's prohibited to get any benefit. Rashi over here says, any isser where it says lo sochal, that's what this pasuk teaches. Now you might say, well, why are we learning it from the word oso? Let's just learn it from the fact that we permit you to give it to a dog. So the Torah has to go out of its way to allow you to give it to a dog. That means everything else you're not allowed to do. Only treifa can be given. He says lo matzi lamelef time. You can't learn out just from the fact that the Torah allowed you to give the treifa to a dog. The ilav oso, because without the extra word oso, have amina krala mitzvase itzrich. I might have thought the pasuk means a mitzvah that we actually want to reward the dogs. She'en HaKadosh Baruch Hu mekapeach schar kol birya. HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not withhold reward for any creature. V'namar b'mitzrayim lo yechretz kelev l'shono. And it says that the dogs, they didn't bark at Klal Yisrael when they were leaving Mitzrayim. Lefigach hikpida Torah litein scharo. Therefore, maybe the Torah is giving a reward, so you wouldn't necessarily know it. So that's why the Gemara is saying that the source actually is oso. So the Gemara says for Rabbi Meir, okay, this is a source according to Rabbi Yehuda. So according to Rabbi Meir, oso atamashlich lekelev, via atamashlich lekelev chulin shenishchatu bazar. What does he do with the word oso? He says oso means that this you're allowed to give to the dogs, but you're not allowed to give to the dogs chulin. Let's say you have an animal that's not a carbon, that's not kodshim, and you shecht it in the Beis HaMikdash, which is a problem. So it teaches us that if you have chulin shenishchatu bazara, you're not allowed to give that to a dog. Rashi over here says, for Rabbi Meir denafkale isser hana b'shari surimi deparap benevela. Rabbi Meir learns out the isser hana from the vela. So bishlama parad heter de treifa legufe itzrich lemifrat beheter mishum dilav de parat be hava amina litzer bahana. So I understand the reason why you have that is because we have to say it's mutter, otherwise it's aser bahana. Ella oso lamali. But again, what is he going to do with this extra word oso? Umeshani. So Rabbi Meir answers isser hana chulin shenishchatu ba'azara. Let's say I have chulin that was shechted in the azara. The nafka lahu. The nafka lon behu iser achila midakasav kiyirchak mimcha hamakom v'zavachta v'yachalta berichuk makom tehainu chutz lamachane shchina atazoveach v'ochel. You're allowed to shecht chulin far away from the machane shchina, far away from the Beis HaMikdash. V'atazoveach v'ochel bekirav makom. But we learn out from this pasuk, you're not allowed to shecht chulin in the Beis HaMikdash. Umishum de'ein mefurish behen lav behedya ba'achila. Now there's no specific negative commandment saying you're not allowed to eat this. So therefore, it's tarech lemelef lo iser hana mehachi. You need a different source for the iser hana. If it would have said explicitly you can't eat it, then we already said anytime it says you can't eat, it also includes the fact that you can't get hana. But it doesn't say explicitly you can't eat. So where are we going to learn out the iser hana from? V'hachi mashma oso shenesar mishum chutz lemechitza. So now it's saying oso, treifa, which has something to do with chutz lemechitza, that you can give to the kelef. Rashi will explain why it has to do with chutz lemechitza, but only treifa you're allowed to give to a kelef. You cannot give chulin shenishchatu ba'azar, which is also chutz lemechitza, so it's being shechted outside of its boundaries. Rashi says that we learn out the concept of mechitza, meaning the concept of something that leaves its boundaries, that it's prohibited, is actually learned out from treifa, so that's connected. For example, what would be a case? Let's say you have the fetus in an animal sticks out its limb during the time of shechita. It's outside the mechitza, it's outside the boundary of the animal. The shechita is not going to go on that part of the animal. There's another case which has mechitza issues. That's our case of chulin shenishchatu ba'azara. You can't give it to a dog. Which case is that? Chulin shenishchatu ba'azara. That refers to chulin shenishchatu ba'azara. So that's what Rabbi Meir will do with the pasuk of, or with the extra word of oso. V'idach, so what about the other one? Where does he learn out chulin shenishchatu ba'azara? The answer is chulin shenishchatu ba'azara lav doraisi. There's another opinion that says chulin shenishchatu ba'azara is actually not aser midoraisa. Rashi says chulin shenishchatu ba'azara da'asiri b'hana lav doraisa. There's another position that says it's not aser b'hana on a doraisa level. That's a machlokas. So that's going to be exactly the machlokas over here. Gemara now says Meisiv Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha. Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha asks the following question: V'harei gid hanosha. What about the gid hanosha? The gid hanosha is the sciatic nerve, which is not kosher. D'rachmana Amar. The pasuk says Al kain lo yochlu b'nei Yisrael es gid hanosha. It says Klal Yisrael is not allowed to eat the gid hanosha. Utznan, but we learned in the Mishnah Sholeach Adam Yerech Lenachri v'gid hanosha b'socho. A person can send the yerech of the animal and has the sciatic nerve within it to a non-Jew. Mipnei shemekomo nikar, because it's clear where that is. Point is, you're allowed to send it to a non-Jew. Apparently, you're allowed to get benefit. So here you see, not like Rabbi Avo. Rabbi Avo said anytime it says you're not allowed to eat something, you cannot derive benefit. Gid hanasha, apparently you're allowed to derive benefit from. Rashi over here explains, Sholeach Adam Yerech Lenachri v'lo matzrachinan litol gida. You don't need to take out the gid hanasha. You can send it to the nachri as is. V'lo gazrinan shemayira Yisrael chaveru kashiyatin and lo v'yelech v'yikno samin anachri. The concern might have been that another Jew will see that you gave it to the non-Jew, then the Jew will buy it from the non-Jew. Uchesavar shenital gida. He'll think the gid hanasha was taken out. Hovel l'mitachas yad Yisrael yatsa, because it originally came from a Jew. V'yochlena begida. Maybe he'll accidentally eat it with the gid hanasha. The reason we're not concerned about that is when neshem mekomo nikarim hu natal v'imlav. The Jew can tell. He'll be able to see whether there's a gid hanasha or not. In any case, shamina minamia de gid mutter bahana. You see, the gid hanasha is an example of something you can't eat, which is mutter bahana. The kasha Rabbi Avo. That's a kasha against Rabbi Avo, who says anything that's aser to eat. The Torah says lo yochal, or any version of that is going to be aser bahana. So the Gemara answers, Kasava Rabbi Avo. Rabbi Avo holds, Kishahutra nevela he v'chelba v'gida hutra. We already said earlier that nevela was an example of something which you cannot eat, but you're allowed to get hana from it. And when nevela was allowed, also the chaylev of nevela was allowed, also the gid hanasha was allowed. All of that was included. So there actually is a specific heter that includes the gid hanasha. Rashi over here says, he v'chelba v'gida hutra lefikach kol chaylev v'chol gid mutarn b'hana. All chaylev and all gid hanasha is going to be mutter b'hana. Shein b'chlal lager asher b'sharecha titneno v'achola. That is all included in the heter of nevela. Shagam hin kruyin ima nevela. That's all part of the nevela. V'harei heter hana belav de gid loshna nevela v'loshna kshera. Rashi says that heter is going to extend to the gid hanasha. Doesn't matter whether it's a gid hanasha in an animal that's a nevela, whether it's a gid hanasha in an animal that's kosher. That's not going to make any difference. And so therefore you have a specific heter in this case. So the Gemara says, Hanicha laman damar yesh begidin benosein tam. That works according to the one who says that the gid hanasha gives a certain taste. It has the taste of meat. Ela laman damar ein begidin benosein tam. But if you're going to say that the gid hanasha doesn't give any taste, it's not considered really to be a food, ma'ikol lamemar. So then it should not be included in nevela. Rashi over here explains, Hanicha laman damar yesh begidin tam basar. The idea is if you hold that gid hanasha has a taste of meat, hareu bechlal nevela, then it can be included in nevela. This or no tam basar, this bashlim habasar, it doesn't have such a halacha. The gid hanasha is not the taste of meat. Al malav tam basar isbuhu v'lav nevela mikru. If it doesn't have the taste of meat, it's not going to be called nevela. Elakat samos, it's no different than bones. Dein eitz bialma, that's just wood. V'lo ishtri b'chlal nevela, that's not included within nevela. It's not permitted within nevela. Ve'eitzu, it's considered wood. V'atorah chayv olav. Torah says gid hanasha is prohibited, regardless of the fact that it's like an eitz. Ma'ikol lememar. Then what are you going to say according to that position? You can't say that the heter comes from nevela, so where is the heter going to come from? So the Gemara says, Man shamat le damar ein begidin benosein tam. Who is the Tana that says this, that there's no tam basar in the gid hanasha? Rabbi Shimon. The Tana is Rabbi Shimon. The Tanya we learned in a bride. So ha'ochel mi gid hanasha shel behema tameya. What happens if a person eats a gid hanasha from an animal that's already not kosher? Is gid hanasha prohibited in an animal that's not kosher? Or no, we say the gid hanasha of an animal that's not kosher. The animal itself is not kosher, but the gid hanasha, there's no additional prohibition, or there's no prohibition at all with the gid hanasha. So what if you eat the gid hanasha of a behema tameya? Rabbi Yehuda mechayev shtayim. Rabbi Yehuda says you're actually chayev twice. because number one, you ate from a non-kosher animal, and he says there is a tam basar, so you ate food from a non-kosher animal. The gid hanosh is considered food. And he says additionally, not only is it a non-kosher animal, it's also gid hanosh, an additional prohibition. Rabbi Shimon poter, and Rabbi Shimon says no, you're completely poter if you eat the gid hanosh from a non-kosher animal because it's not food, it's not no saint tam, so it's not eating from a non-kosher animal, and there's no prohibition of gid hanosh in non-kosher animals. The prohibition was only in a kosher animal. If you're eating a kosher animal, you got to remove the gid hanosh. Non-kosher animal you don't eat anyway. So the Gemara says, well, according to Rabbi Shimon hachinami to aser bahana. Rabbi Shimon happens to be, you're right. Rabbi Shimon holds that it is in fact, the gid hanasha is in fact aser bahana. The whole question on Rabbi Avo was from a Mishnah, which implied that you're allowed to get hana from the gid hanasha. Rabbi Shimon doesn't agree with that. The Tanya, because we learned in a brisa, gid hanasha, when it comes to the gid hanasha, mutter bahana, divrei Rabbi Yehuda. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it is mutter bahana for Rabbi Shimon oser, and Rabbi Shimon says it's prohibited. You cannot get hana from the gid hanasha. Gemara tries another question. V'harei dam, what about blood? The Rachmana Amar, the pasuk says, "Kol nefesh mikem lo sochal dam." You're not allowed to eat blood. Utznan, and we learned in the Mishnah, Elu v'elu misarvin ba'ama v'yotz l'nachal Kidron. All these bloods, they get mixed up as they drain in the Beis Hamikdash, and they go out to the stream of Kidron. V'nimkarin l'gananin l'zavel, and they get sold. They can be sold to people who are gardening for fertilizer. Umoalin bo, and there is me'ilah if the dam is considered to be hektish, and therefore, if it's the dam of karbanos, the assumption is, and therefore there's a problem of me'ilah, you can't get benefit because it's hektish. But the implication over here is the blood of karbanos is only a problem of me'ilah. It's only a problem of getting benefit because it's hektish. But if you redeem it, let's say you redeem it on money or something like that, and you remove the issue of hektish, apparently you're allowed to derive benefit from blood. It's only usher to eat. It's not usher to derive benefit from. So the Gemara says, Shani dam de iskish lamayim. So the Gemara says that blood is different because it's already compared to water. Again, Rabbi Avo is going to say you have a specific drasha that allows you to derive benefit from blood. Because the pasuk says, Lo sochlenu ala oretz tishbechenu kamayim. The pasuk says, don't eat blood, pour it out on the earth like water. Ma mayim mutarin, just like water is permitted to get to derive benefits. Avdam mutar, so too by blood, it's permitted to derive benefits. Gemara says, Ve'emo kemayim hamisnaschim al gavi hamizbeach. There are certain kinds of water you can't get benefit, like nisach hamayim, the water that's a libation that you pour in the mizbeach. Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Avo says, Kemayim, when it says it's like water, rov mayim, it means the majority of water. Most water is permitted. Gemara says, Midi rov mayim ksiv. Does it say in the pasuk the majority of water? It just says water. That's not a good answer. Elamar Rav Ashi, the Gemara says, rather Rav Ashi says, Kemayim hanishpachin. We're comparing blood to water that's poured out. Velo kemayim hanisachin. Not like water that's part of a libation. It's a different term that's used. It's not called pouring. It's called nisachin. Well, there is a kind of water that's poured, that's nishbach, that is prohibited to get benefit from. That's the water that's poured in front of an idol. It's poured in front of avodah zarah. Gemara says, "Hasam nami nisuchikri." It's not true. Even when you pour it in front of avodah zarah, it's not called nishbachin. It's called nisuch. It's called by the same term as when you pour it in front of the mizbeach. Dechsiv, because the pasuk says yishtu yein nesicham. Again, talking about avodah zarah and using the language of nesach. And Rashi over here says, just going on the blood that used to drain out of the Beis Hamikdash, elu ve'elu. What are these different kinds of bloods? Shirei dam chatos hapnimios. It means the bloods of the various carbon chatos that you bring inside the Beis Hamikdash. Hanishbachin al yisod ma'aravi shal mizbeach hachitzon. Those were poured at the yisod of the outer mizbeach on the west side. The shirei dam chatos hachitzonos hanishbachin al yisod dromi. Then there were the outer chatos, the outer carbon chatoses. They were poured on the southern part of the yisod. Yotzim min hayisod l'ritzba. In any case, they would go from the yisod of the mizbeach onto the floor, derech shnei nekavim ketanim, through two small holes. Umisarvin ba'ama. What's the ama? Where they mix silon shaya over bazar. This was like a pipe, like a drain that was in the azara. V'yotzim l'nachal Kidron kemo l'nachal Eson. Emek, again, they went to this valley of Kidron. L'ganonim, they were used by the ganonim. Bale ginos l'zevel. They were gardeners who used it for fertilizer. Umoalin behen, and you can also there's me'ilah. It's a problem to get benefit. Kilomar aser lehanus mehen below damim. It's a problem to get benefit if you don't redeem it with money. Mibnei shein shel hektish, meaning it's a problem because it's hektish, not because it's blood. Mikol makom dam mutar bahana. Nevertheless, blood itself is mutter b'hana. And again, the Gemara said, Kemayim hamisnaschin, it's like water that is libation water, shasuras b'hana. Maybe it's like mayim hamisnaschin, and it should be asur b'hana. Sharei kodesh ein shekidru b'kli sharis. That kind of water that you're pouring on the mizbeach became sanctified in the kli sharis. Uchsiv kol hanogeh b'hem yikdash. It says if you touch him, anything that touches the kli sharis is going to be sanctified. And we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Chav Beis Amud Beis.